What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cozy Womb Podcast. My name is Shan, mama of the girls. What's goody? Happy Monday. We are here on a Monday. How was your first weekend of October? How was it? Was the weather nice? Was it cool? Are your trees changing? Because South trees is still green. We're still getting 80 degree weather, 70 degree nights. I know some places are already cold and it's hoodie season. Don't forget you could get hoodies for Cozy Womb Podcast on the Cozy Womb shop. Today's episode is called Relationship with Siblings and Why They Matter, right? I think the way your kids interact with each other matters. If you allow your children to be mean and rude to each other, they're probably going to grow up to be adults who are mean and rude to other people. If you teach your children how to work together, share, or play with other things in the house separately, and y'all could be in the same house and do separate things. You don't have to do the same thing, or you don't have to watch the same thing on the same TV when there's multiple TVs. If you teach them that, and not to be petty about things, and not to be so stuck on who was first, but I wanted to watch it, or you wasn't touching it, and now because I have it, I hate it. And most importantly, when you have the same sex siblings at different ages, your house is a war zone sometimes. But I don't like to let things escalate. So as soon as I hear the arguing or the back and forth, I usually end it or find a solution. The person that be the culprit the most is the youngest. The younger one always strikes first, and then the older one will come tell me, she hit me, she scratched me, she pinched me. Why would you sit there enough to be hit? Why would you sit there enough to be pinched? Why would you let her do that in your face multiple times? And I have to have that conversation with her, because some kids want to play victim. Some kids will verbally egg on a problem, and then the other child is physically going to solve it. And that's what I'm dealing with here in my house with 2 daughters. If your kids grow up in a safe, loving household, and it's not full of violence and just being nasty to each other, they're going to grow up to be better people, right? They're going to understand that the goal, and when you have a disagreement, is a solution and not violence. And parents have the power to fix that. Some parents don't initiate it. Some people say not to get involved. Some people just say, oh, somebody's going to get hurt, and not do any type of buffering in between, and they just wait with the first aid kit. That was my mom. I'm not doing that. There's nobody that's allowed to fight in my house. There's nobody that's allowed to break furniture. There's nobody that's allowed to throw things across the room while I'm sitting in it. There's nobody that's allowed to use cuss words. There's nobody that's allowed to slam doors or kick walls or stomp out the house or call their dad because I said this. Yeah, we're not doing that. We coming with solutions. We're being fair, and I'm pointing out the wrong on both sides, and I'm pointing out the good on both sides. And when all parents get to a point where we do that, our kids are going to be better off. I promise you. I promise you. Don't forget to get your merch for this fall, winter on the Cozy Womb shop. And you can also shop Mama's Cozy Closet, which is where you get all the mom gear for moms. All right. Don't forget, it's out there. I'm talking sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, cups, t-shirts, even onesies for the babies at Cozy Womb shop and Mama's Cozy Closet. Now back to the show.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
Just remember these key things. I try my best not to compare the girls. You should try your best not to compare your kids, because they're two different personalities. They're different people. They want different things and they need different things. And remember to tell your kids that you do not have to play everything together. You do not have to do everything each other want to do at the same time. And nobody is better. Like, Anya will get into this thing where, which picture do you like better, mine or hers? And I'd be like, I like both of them. And she just wants me to choose. She wants me to choose. And she wants me to choose. And I'm not getting into that war. And all parents should be at a point where they take the bigger out and they don't get into that back and forth with the kids. Attention is a big factor. Kids will act out because they want attention. Kids will be shy because they don't know what to do with that attention. And that leads to them not being able to take compliments from people, which will be a bigger problem if you don't teach them how to take a compliment, what to say when someone says, I like your shirt, or I like your hair, or I like your shoes, or your presentation yesterday was really good. Like, there's an awkward silence that happens with adults a lot of times when they get compliments, and it's because as children they never got those compliments. And so even in adulthood, where you should know better, you don't know better. So figure out how to give your children the right attention at the right time for the right reasons, for them doing the right things, not because you beg them to, not because you threaten them to do it, because they know they should do it. It's the right thing and they did it anyway. All right. Now, when you have an older sibling by a few years and you have a younger sibling, it's going to get a point to where they can do things together. And then one person is too small to do it or too big to do it. So like when we go to Publix, the car cart is the thing. Some Krogers still have the car cart also. And Anya is almost 8 years old. And she always tries to put her long legs and her big torso body in the side of the cart with Ari. Ma'am, you are at an age where you are not going to fit. And I have to tell her, Anya, you need to walk. Because again, I'm not pushing you in the cart because your body takes up most of the cart and I need that for groceries, not your body. So I have to keep telling her, you need to walk, you need to walk. And if I tell her she needs to walk, what is she going to do? She's going to ask for my phone. And she's going to be all in my phone. I'm not going to know who's texting me. I'm not going to be able to have a full battery when I get in the car because she wants the phone. It's kind of like these kids today, they cannot just be in the moment. They have to be doing something in the moments that they have. And don't forget to tell your kids this. Just because your brother has this or your sister has this doesn't mean you need it also. Just because you weren't playing with a toy and they picked up the toy, and yes, that toy is still yours. They're just looking at it. They're just playing with it. They're going to give it back to you. Stop having a big deal about it. Kids struggle with having a big deal about things, doing things that are a big deal, and having an issue about doing things. It's not that serious. It's not a big deal. But it happens. Okay? Nip that in the bud. Let them know off tops. Before, they go to, any invited event. Birthday parties, sleepover, or whatever. Right? I always have a conversation with both of them first. Don't get upset because you're not getting a toy. Don't get upset that someone gets something before you. Don't have an attitude with anybody. Remember your manners. Don't go in the bathroom with anybody that's not this person. Don't push. If somebody's doing something to Ari, look after her. If somebody is bothering you, go to this person. Do not walk away from anybody. Like, always have that conversation with them until they just know what to do. Okay? And you have to teach the older sibling to look after the younger sibling. Not because it's their job, but because it's what the older sibling does. You know more. You're smarter. I trust you. And you have the ability to prevent things from happening to your younger sibling. Period. Okay? And also, you're going to have one child that's okay with being corrected, and you're going to have a child that hates being corrected, is going to have an attitude, is going to do things spitefully to the other kids, so pay attention to that too. Nip that in the bud. And lastly, one kid is always more sharing than the other kid. And in order to help that child know that you cannot always be giving to somebody and expect them to do the same thing back, limit the sharing. I know. But that's what she wants to do. But that's what he wants to do. But when it comes to tit for tat and what they do in return, if they don't reciprocate that, if they're not sharing with them on the reverse end, they're going to feel slighted. So to avoid the slighted issue, if your iPad is dead, don't let her go on your iPad. If your toy is broken or she broke your toy, don't give her this toy. Like, they have to learn that early, or else they're always going to feel like, well, mine is broken and I want to use yours and I should be able to use yours because mommy always lets me use yours. No, I'm not doing that here. You shouldn't either. There has to be some responsibility for actions taking place, or not sharing, or being mean and being petty. This is what happens when you're petty and you're mean. Period. And that's how I'm raising these two over here. Relationships between siblings matter because that's how they build character and personality when they become adults. So if you are in the workplace and you're dealing with someone that doesn't know how to take ownership or be polite or share the duties or share the congrats, or also let people have a fair share of speaking, or playing a part, or just being a part of the workspace in a fair way. It's because their parents let them get away with too much for too long, and they think this is just what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bend for me because my parents bend for me. No, the world does not bend for you just because your parents spoil you rotten. Teach your children, okay? Relationships with kids matter because the same type of relationships and bond that they make that's really close when they're younger will take them into adulthood. And when I tell you, I have surgery this week, and my person who is helping me get me to the surgery center and pick me up and take me home is my favorite brother. It's not my husband because I'm not married. It's not my best friend because my best friend will have one of my children. It's not my children's father because one of my children's fathers will have the other child. It's my brother. The relationship with your siblings when you're young matters when they become older. My name is Shan. This is Cozy Womb Podcast. I was about to say a different podcast. Doing too much. This is Cozy Womb Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sharing the show. And thank you for subscribing. And please leave a review on the Apple Podcast app or Google or Spotify. I appreciate you, and I will see you Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.